97.1 Wadsworth Community Radio, day before Thanksgiving here. And we welcome in the studio with us United States Air Force Captain Logan Sisca. Good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Great to be here. Thanks for having me on this Thanksgiving Eve.
Well, appreciate you coming in here this morning. And now I know you and I had met back in August at the Props and Pistons Festival out at Akron-Fulton Airport, of course, put on by Inspire Aviation. And so we got together out there and met up and, you know, talked about you coming on the radio with us here when you were back in town. But that little weekend there at Akron-Fulton was sort of a homecoming for you because you are from around here. Talk about that.
It was always a special weekend in August at the Props and Pistons Festival for me. I was born and raised in North Canton, Ohio, and did all of my civilian flight training right here in Northeast Ohio. So it's very near and dear to my heart to come home, kind of like a family reunion, to see all of my friends and family right here in Akron-Wadsworth area.
And so talk a little bit about what got you into the Air Force. I mean, because you had been involved, and of course we were both dweebing out on all of our space background and telescopes and SpaceX and everything here. You've been interested in aviation in some aspect for, well, probably a good portion of your life.
Yes, sir. As long as I can remember, even as a little boy, I grew up right next to the Akron-Canton Regional Airport, so it was always a part of my life. You know, I just caught that bug early on, growing up right next to the airport, seeing all the planes flying overhead. Coming from an aviation family, my dad was an airline pilot after his Air Force career. Mom was a flight attendant. Grandpa served in B-25s during the war, so it was always a part of my DNA. Fell in love as just a little boy, and I'm honored to be able to use my passion, my lifelong dreams, to be able to use that to benefit the community through my service with the Air Force Reserve.
So coming from Canton there, did you go right into the Air Force? Were you ROTC, or what did that path look like?
Actually, I had a bit of a circuitous route. So going to Hoover High School, a lot of my teachers, AP Chemistry and Physics, Mr. Wood and Mr. Woods, they all inspired me to pursue a career in STEM, which I did out of high school. So I went to college and achieved an electrical engineering degree and used that in the space industry out at SpaceX, developing the Falcon 9 rocket to develop the reusability systems that allow it to fly multiple times and make space more accessible to the common man. So went to SpaceX for about 3 years, working on the grid fins for Falcon 9. And back in 2017, I decided that I wanted to get LASIK and a PPL, a private pilot's license, in order to pursue this lifelong dream of flying. So I went and achieved all of those ratings and applied to the Air Force Reserve, and now I'm a C-17 pilot at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton.
Of course, now, and you flew that C-17 in to the Akron-Fulton Airport. Talk a little bit about that bird, some capacity and things like that, because, and again, that's one of those things, I mean, you see a picture of it or things like that, but, for the average person, if you're out there at one of the air shows and get to go up close and personal, it's like, this thing can't fly.
Sure, I even get that sense after flying it for over 2,000 hours. So it really is quite an engineering marvel, what Boeing has created in the C-17 Globemaster III. It's actually the second largest strategic airlifter in the Air Force's inventory. Over 170 feet long, so about half the size of a standard football field, and it can weigh up to 585,000 pounds. So with that, the cargo capacity allows us to take over 164,000 pounds of cargo, be it humanitarian aid, disaster relief, troops, tanks, helicopters, you name it, if it fits its ships. In fact, during the Afghanistan evacuation, the C-17 flew over 124,000 Afghan refugees to safety. So it has the ability to fly for all sorts of missions around the world to not just defend the United States, but also to benefit citizens around the world.
And of course, I know that you were part of some of that evacuation. That was at Kabul?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, during August of 2021.
So almost, and then again, as you come back to Akron-Fulton, almost a couple of those, almost to the day, so to speak, of that anniversary. So now, at the time, and of course, now, Kabul, I would assume, isn't the safest airport in the world, although it might, it was probably protected by troops, but nonetheless, in that area over there, I mean, it's still not like evacuating someone from a hurricane area or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of danger involved there in those evacuations.
Sure, and we're very, very blessed to have the brave men and women of the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force securing the perimeter at Kabul International. It was actually very orderly. We had all of those brave service members, and unfortunately, we did lose 13 during that operation. That gave the ultimate sacrifice to make sure that we were safe going into and out of Kabul, and were able to evacuate as many of our allies as we could. We relied on our training, tactics, and our fellow service members on the ground in order to stay safe. And that's why when you see the C-130s and C-17s flying overhead in Ohio, it's because we are training to those tactics so we can be as safe as possible.
So now I know typical. Augie's saying hello to all the kids outside here this morning. Typically, the C-17 carries 150, 60, 70 personnel with their equipment, ballpark.
Yeah, we can take up to 102 fully loaded paratroopers with all of their gear. But during that evacuation, we could carry 450 men, women, and children at a time, sometimes even north of 800 in emergency situations.
So that was literally packed in like sardines. Of course, they didn't have equipment, and some of them, good or bad, they only had the clothes on their back because they were literally fleeing for their lives. Mm-hmm. And there a lot of those people too were somewhat like the 9/11 victims. I mean, they were or people that were in New York and hear some of the attacks. They're people that aren't supposed to be in the fight. And they were victims of that. And so talk a little bit about once the dust settled, the adrenaline was settled down. Talk about some of the satisfaction that you had. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and of course around the world, it's only Thanksgiving here in the United States, but there are many, many, many people that are having their little private Thanksgivings because of some of the evacuations and the work that you did. So talk a little bit about that feeling of accomplishment there.
Yeah, that's a great point, Tom. It's really why we joined the military, to help other people. One of the most rewarding aspects, we actually had a pregnant mother on one of our flights, and she went into labor, believe it or not, halfway through the flight. We were able to land as quickly as possible, and she actually gave birth to her baby daughter on the aircraft. So that was extremely rewarding to see this new beautiful life come into the world on board our aircraft, and really gave us that sense of satisfaction. This is why we signed on the dotted line, to benefit other lives, no matter where they're coming from, what circumstances put them in that situation. We're trying to do the best that we can with these beautiful aircraft that the taxpayers given to us.
Of course, I know that when I was over there at Fulton talking to you, sitting in the cockpit there, and you talked about your team. And, once the engines come on and the wheels are off the ground, I mean, there's everybody is equal on the flight deck. There's no. Of course, you're the commander or whatever. But I mean, if someone else sees a problem, everybody is equal when it comes to once that plane is airborne.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a special term for that. We call it crew resource management. So no matter who you are in the crew, even passengers, we encourage all of those opinions to come together. That way we can safely and efficiently operate the aircraft. So, we all have different experiences, different backgrounds, different education that all play into that. So we're drawing on years and years of experience amongst the crew, and each person has that really special talent that they bring to the crew, and that's what's really special, to be part of a team and use all of our different talents to accomplish the mission safely.
Mm-hmm. So, and of course, those the props and pistons put on by Inspire Aviation, and in that name, Inspire Aviation, talk a little bit about maybe the mentorship that you realize when you come to an air show like that. I mean, you go from a military mission or whatever, but when you come back and see some of the kids that were in your shoes, talk a little bit about you feeling about inspiring them.
Oh, sure. Honestly, one of the most rewarding parts of the job is being able to inspire, like you said, and give back to the community. With that, I look back at the pictures of myself in my early childhood, going to the Cleveland Air Show, going to Akron, and growing up, seeing all of these pilots and loadmasters and nurses, and being inspired by them as a young boy. So now at air shows today, I look at these little children and think that, gosh, in a couple years, they're going to be in my shoes. So what can we do to inspire them, tell them about all of the opportunities that are available for them? We've had individuals who are blind, are deaf, and there are even opportunities for them in the military and other careers in aviation. So it's great to see the diversity and being able to inspire those young kids, seeing the spark in their eyes, when they sit in that captain's chair and imagine that they're flying a big C-17 around. I think, gosh, in a couple of years, they're going to be in my shoes. So that's what's really humbling about coming to the Akron Air Show is just doing that and seeing those kids.
Well, I know one thing, too, with like Inspire Aviation, and I want to say good morning. If Megan is listening, and I know Mike Bowser, Dr. Bowser now, if you saw that,
yes,
very
sir.
impressive.
Congrats,
might be listening this morning, too. With the Inspire Aviation, too, I know the one thing that comes across in a lot of the programs is a lot of people, or especially younger kids, will think aviation. Well, the pilot is 1/10 of 1/2 of 1% of everything that it takes to put an aircraft in there, whether it's a Cessna, whether it's a C-17 or something like that. And there's so many different careers. I mean, even like if you're developing flight simulators. I mean, that's how you learn to fly. I mean, so there's so many different things that people can be that kids can be involved in aviation.
Oh, sure. I think you even overstated the role of the pilot. We just turn on the autopilot and then drink our coffee. So, really, they say it takes a village, and that's true. I think about all the engineers, the mechanics, the simulation software engineers. It just takes an incredible amount of effort to accomplish such a complex mission. So, I'd encourage all of the high school and middle school kids out there to think about all the different careers that go into it. Some might want to be engineers, project managers. There's just so many different ways to get involved, and really the pilots are just a very minuscule little part of it. I think we have the best office views with our windows up front, but it really is a team effort to make the mission happen.
When, as we were out there at Akron Fulton or whatever, you had mentioned flying out there, that's where you got your license or whatever. There were, of course, the C-17 you flew in. There were a couple other little special planes out there, too, that were out there as well.
Yeah, it really did warm my heart. Akron Fulton Airport is very special to me. Back in 2017, that's actually where I did my first solo flight in a little Cessna 172. And thanks to the fine folks at Avid Flight Academy, we were lucky enough to have that exact Cessna 172 parked next to my C-17. So it's so great to be able to talk to kids at the air show and point at that little Cessna. It's not more than 30 feet wide, and then look at the C-17 and say, you could start here in this Cessna and then go to the C-17 in just 2 short years. So to be able to fly the C-17, this mammoth aircraft, into little Akron Fulton Airport, where I soloed, just back in 2017, is really, really special. And I want to thank all of the instructors and fellow aviators of Northeast Ohio, especially Avid Flight Academy, for being able to helped me earn my private pilot's license back then and open the door to a career in the Air Force. So I encourage anyone, if they're interested in serving or just flying for fun, to look into AVIT. That's AVIT Flight Academy. They have 7 locations around Northeast Ohio. So anyone who's interested in flying can go take a discovery flight and then start their flight training if that's something that they enjoy, to open careers in aviation. And
back, I believe, if I recall, trying to recall some conversations that we had in August, if someone's of course, worried about cost or whatever. I know you received a scholarship from one of the pilot associations, too, that helped, correct?
I did, absolutely. And that Northeast Ohio Pilots Association, or NEOPA, I cannot thank them enough. Really, they were integral to allowing me to pursue this career in aviation. So they have scholarships that they give out every year. Their members donate to the scholarship fund, and then they pick certain deserving students who are pursuing a career in aviation to give those scholarships to. So I was very grateful to use those scholarships through AVIT at Wadsworth Airport, actually. So 3 Golf 3, it's the Wadsworth Municipal Airport right here in town. I was able to use that scholarship to further my flight training and allow me to apply to the Air Force. So just want to thank everyone who's donated to funds like that. It really can make someone's dream turn into a reality.
Okay, well, now it's time for us to thank you a little bit. Hold on here a second. I've got to reach over here behind the curtain. So, of course, I was out there and did a couple things or whatever, but we have something here from you that Megan Zimmerman, after seeing some of the things out there, we'll talk about it after you go ahead and open it up.
Wow.
So did that, and she said, "Well, if you're going to have Logan in, can is it okay to?" I thought, "Well, of course it's okay." So I don't want to give it away here, but if you want to open that up, I can't turn the microphone up loud enough for people to see it on air, but we kind of thought that. And again, Megan came up with that and had that made, and thought that this might be a little special gift here for you here. So,
well, Tom, I'm glad you can't turn the microphone up to see my face. 'Cause, as they'd say, I have a face for radio and a voice for newspapers.
And so, here you go. Here's
thank you.
Split that open there. But so yeah, and see now and see, you could tell that there was a woman's touch on that, because if I'd have given it to you, you'd have just got the box. You'd have got the cardboard box there. So, but again, that is so that was from.
Oh my goodness! Wow, I cannot thank you enough, Megan and Tom.
Yeah.
This is incredible. So for those listening, they actually gifted me an incredible framed picture. It's got the B-25 bomber that my grandpa flew during the war, along with the C-17 and the Cessna 172 that I flew, with myself in the foreground. Wow, that is really special.
And you get to have to be able to even get all those in one picture without photoshopping them together. I mean, it was all right there.
Oh my goodness, This is incredible. Thanks to Tom's amazing photography skills and Megan. What a thoughtful gift.
Yeah. So.
And actually, a celebrity back there in the background, Fly with Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
He's got an
That's right.
Instagram page. Yeah, Bruno. I want to thank him for coming to the Props and Pistons Festival this year and making it really special. He's inspired so many people through his impactful YouTube and Instagram channels. So, wow, what a special picture. This is going to have a very special place on my wall.
Well, good.
Wow.
Well, good. Well, glad you enjoyed it. I know that when Megan saw that, she goes, "Oh my gosh!" She goes, "We've got to get this printed up, and we've got to give it to Logan." So there it is. All right.
They forgot to Photoshop my face out though. So had to ruin the airplanes. But wow, no. What a special picture.
Well, very good. Well, no, I appreciate that. And you mentioned Bruno or whatever, and we had got a couple of nice group shots there, or actually, it was the day before the festivals. That's the fun side. That's why I always come out on Friday, because those are all the before and the after pictures are all the really, really cool ones. But and again, I know we had sent everything up to him and as well. So yeah, he does a great job there. He's from the East Coast, I believe.
Yeah, up by New York. And, he got to meet my nieces. I think they're listening right now.
Yeah.
So Violet and Sophie, they're 6 and 2, and just the loves of my life. But they were able to meet Bruno and come out and see the C-17 when I flew in right over their heads. So
you did a little touch and go for him, didn't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, gotta tell all the friends and family that we're home. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, again, Logan, thanks again, and really do appreciate you coming in here. And again, thank you for your service. And again, like I mentioned before, I know that there's just a lot of people all over the world. Again, we have our Thanksgiving here, but they've had many private Thanksgivings because of the work that that you've done throughout the world. So thanks again, and happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I can't thank you enough for your support, and a very happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas season to all who are listening.
Okay, you take care. Be safe.
Thanks, Tom.
It is 97.1 Wadsworth Community Radio.